Our country is known for unhealthy foods, large corporations making unhealthy foods. For a recipe to climb through the corporate ladder, a strenuous process of testing have to be carried out by research and development chefs on multiple levels, until it's deemed perfect. Then they'll finally make it to the back of these boxes, trick our moms into thinking she can cook, and ultimately become part of our childhood. Today we'll test out some of the most classic recipes representing some of the biggest companies in America, and towards the end some vintage ones that defines periods of history as well. The one that started it all, almost 100 years old, not only had an impact on global cuisines, but will forever be one of my favorite references in Friends.
Nestlé Toolhauser. Nestle Toll House?
A woman named Ruth Wakefield sold the Toll House recipe to Nestle in exchange for a lifetime supply of chocolate. I guess it's the modern equivalent of Alexander Wang selling himself to Zuckerberg.
Nice job, team.
Now I was looking for the information on the Toll House recipe and I found this video.
How do you do that? Today in the Nestle Innovation Kitchen.
And it is at this point I figured out why Nestle has been great for so long. Because their chefs wear FutureCanoe merch, yo. We'll do the dry ingredients first. 2 1/4 cup of AP flour, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of baking soda, whisk together with a liquid fork and set aside. A whole cup of butter, room temp ideally. 3/4 cups each of brown sugar and granulated. We'll beat the butter into the sugar until it's a little bit more fluffy and pale. This step is called creaming the sugar. You can cream it on the couch if you want, but I'm gonna use a machine over here. And take a look what I'm doing. I'm taking out real vanilla beans for Nestle cookies as a sign of respect. 2 eggs, 1 at a time, otherwise the dough is gonna split. Like my dad. Very thoroughly will incorporate the dry ingredients, and just like how God breathed soul into humans, we're gonna pour in the chocolate chips to make it complete. Probably the easiest part about this recipe is that you don't need to wait or put it in the fridge or freeze it or whatever. We'll scoop and bake right away. The sound of the oven being ready. After 10 minutes, this is what they look like. The color is a little uneven, especially towards the center, but we're gonna look past that. I definitely did these a little too big, so they're sort of connected. But once we let it cool, we should be able to separate them. Pretty moist inside. Let's give it a taste and rate 1 to 10, you know what I mean? No wonder why the corporation's been putting it on chocolate chip bags for decades. That crunch at the edges, the moist center, and a good distribution of chocolate chips too. 8.5. Rolling in next, Libby's 100% pure pumpkin puree. This can and the recipe in the back is serving up 90 million pumpkin pies per year in America. The famous pumpkin pie recipe on the left is your childhood. It hasn't changed since it came out in 1929. In 2009, a groundbreaking new recipe was developed and introduced to the world to include a whole can of sweetened condensed milk to increase the creaminess. But anyways, pumpkin pie was and stays my least favorite dessert on the holiday table because people be putting too much ginger powder in it. And putting so much ginger powder in a sweet pie is like taking your children to McDonald's to get a cup of black iced coffee. I should have called Child Protective Services. After mixing the spices, eggs, sugar as a base, time to mix in 2 canned products, evaporated milk and Libby's pumpkin puree. I used the 9-inch as it said, but it overflowed. We're gonna do 425 for 15 to solidify it, and then 350 for 40 to bake it through. Do you think this control panel is clean? A little char never hurts nobody. Oh man. I'm distracted by a phone call. But it shouldn't affect the flavor. It's supposed to be the perfect recipe. Kind of like falling apart. Alright, let's try this pumpkin pie. You know, I almost like this caramel flavor. It adds a lot more depth to it. If it's just the pumpkin pie, it'll be a little too one-dimensional. But now you have these colors. Just avoid the bitter spots. You'll be all good. Give this a 9 out of 10. I got curious, so I looked it up. Libby's pumpkin puree started belonging to Nestle since 1970. So I guess I just spent the first 4 minutes of the video displaying Nestle products. So for our next box, I made sure that Lipton did not belong to Nestle. It is the onion soup mix. I've never seen it or had it. My first reaction to this box is it gonna taste like Earl Grey? But it's such an American staple, so even if you never had it straight out of the bag, it definitely has sneaked its way into your mouth in some way or the other. For example, example, a classic Jewish preparation of brisket involves balsamic vinegar and the Lipton onion mix. And today we're testing 2 of the 3 recipes on the back. It's funny how none of them involve a soup of some sort. We have potato dip and a burger, starting with the dip. 1 envelope of the onion soup mix into 1 container, 60 ounces of sour cream. Half the bag. It smells like when you saute onions and garlic together. Okay, I don't have chips at home. The only thing I can dip it with are these rice cakes. It looks like a diet yogurt sauce or like a cursed tzatziki. Bro, this is so good. What? This is like the best dip I've ever had. What is this? Deep, rich, caramelized onion flavor. And little pieces of fried garlic in there too. I'm gonna start doing this way more often. Giving it a 9.5. I was shook, guys. I can't believe a dip that takes 30 seconds to make tastes that good. It really goes to show that making delicious food is easy when you follow the instructions, which is the point of this channel. So we just mix some mayo and breadcrumbs into a pound of ground beef. We're gonna sear it up into burgers. 2 types, smash burgers and the trash ones. I don't have cheese slices in the house, but with this griddle I can just sprinkle shredded Kobe Jack on top of it and turn it into a crisp. I've always wanted to roll a burrito inside of a cheese crisp like one of those videos online. Maybe we'll do that later. Let's focus on the burger for now. For the burger sauce, I think we should take it 1 step above by using the Lipton onion dip that we just made earlier. Everything Lipton burger. Alright, let's go. Can't say no to a burger. You know how a lot of burgers have fried onions or caramelized onions on top? But when you eat it, it's always messy. This solves the problem perfectly. So much flavor going on. This one is a thicker piece. This is how it's supposed to be had. But I almost like the thicker one better. I used the leanest beef I could find, so adding that mayo definitely helped. They got some geniuses at Lipton. Stop buying those expensive seasonings and barbecue rubs. Just put the Lipton onion soup everywhere. I'll give this burger a 9.2. The next 2 boxes define the morning of the new world. The battle of the pancake between 2 most classic mixes. Bisquick, which everybody knows, and pearl milling. What's pearl milling, you asked? It is formerly known as Aunt Jemima. For Bisquick, the creative back-of-box recipes actually made them famous. Back in the 40s and 50s, the marketing slogan was "You can make 90 things with this mix," indicating its versatility, calling it the Swiss Army knife of dry mix. While I could make 100 things with broccoli, it doesn't mean I'm gonna eat it. On the other hand, Pearl Milling was probably the oldest food company in America. They launched Aunt Jemima back in 1889 and never changed the marketing strategy until a couple years ago. I grew up with this bottle, so it was very heartbreaking for me to find out that it's not even maple syrup, it's like chemicals in it. And now I'll forever live as a man who prefers chemical fake syrup over the real thing. To execute the pancake perfectly, you must have noticed this new stovetop griddle we just used to cook the burgers and how easy it made it for us. This is the Carbon Steel Griddle from Mayo, and after trying it just once, I found myself just leaving it on the stovetop and using it for everything. It covers 2 burners, which means I can cook 5 pancakes at once, no flipping back and forth, no cold spots. The most important aspect of a stovetop equipment is heat distribution, and Mayo really nailed it with this one. It's naturally non-stick, pre-seasoned, heat safe up to 1200 degrees, so whether I'm making breakfast, searing steak, it always holds up. It's also crafted with 0 harmful chemicals. You can get it as hot as you want, and nothing besides great flavor is going to be leaking into your food. Maiden is raising the industry standard as it partners with multi-generational artisans. Their cookware is used in Michelin star restaurants like Alinea in Chicago and La Bernardin in Midtown, 2 of the most iconic 3 stars in America. If you want to check out this griddle and all the other products from Maiden I'm using in this video, use the link in the description to level up your cooking. As you can see, it's like a lot lighter than most pancakes. It has more of a gluten bread structure to it. It tastes way more fluffy than I expected. Pearl milling pancakes with the pearl milling syrup. Look at that. It's significantly thicker. This one might be too thick. It's at a chewy texture to the point that I don't really enjoy it. This is like very fluffy and soft and stuff. Flavor wise, I feel like this one has a deeper flavor. We did add a lot more ingredients to it. Bisquick really nailed the pancake mixture, but Pearl Milling has got the syrup right. It has a hint of vanilla, bourbon. I knew I prefer chemicals more than the real thing. Since Bisquick won the pancake round, we're gonna make another recipe from them. The Impossible Bacon Pie. It's sort of like a savory waffle batter with eggs, bacon,
What the f***?
If it happens one more time, bro, I'm gonna lose it. The name Impossible Bacon Pie actually stands for impossibly easy, not like vegan or anything. 3 eggs, a cup and a half of milk, some pepper and salt, 3/4 of a cup of Bisquick. Mix that together and get to the chopping. 12 pieces of bacon into really small strips, an onion into small dice, and yes, this is the aluminum dish from the pumpkin pie. Hey, on this channel we avoid washing extra dishes at all costs, and we'll put this dish together by sprinkling in layers, starting with the bacon, onions, cheese. I'm just using regular Swiss cheese, but you should use raclette if you have. I actually ran out. We're getting more though, don't worry. Then we'll pour it evenly, very slowly into the dish. If this doesn't overflow, we don't need to wash the hotel pan. After 40 minutes of 400 convection, this is looking like a deceitful mac and cheese. Check this out. Not a lot of eggs, and it gets very jiggly in the center. I think the cheese melting helps a lot. I do think the bacon is a little too soft. A lot of the fat still not rendered out. Maybe next time we could saute the bacon and the onion first before putting it in the pie. Overall, it tastes like a quiche Lorraine, but like an American version of it. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I would eat it again, but I wouldn't intentionally make it. The next product, Hellmann's Mayo, actually started in New York at a deli on Columbus Ave. It was called Blue Ribbon, which is still prominent on the packaging. It must be the OG of virality marketing, because the weird recipes they publish routinely shocks the country, bringing it into cultural conversations. Like the chocolate mayo cake and the mayo crusted grilled cheese. Both I've tried and hated, but this one is special, classic, and involves radioactive chicken breast. Half a cup of grated parm into a cup of mayonnaise, mix it together and just straight up pile it on to some chicken breast. This is like icing a cake. We gotta cover that breast with it. I feel like a baker and a freak. Topping it off with breadcrumbs to turn into a Parmesan crusted chicken breast, then bake at 425 for 20 minutes. I think the high heat split the mayo and a bunch of oil just got baked out. This time it has to be all cooked. This is like chicken parmigiano. This is a little flat. Let's taste this piece. It's a very distinct flavor you have to really like mayo to appreciate. When I taste this bite, all I can think about is Big Neck Ed from 90 Day Fiancé. I feel like his hair will taste like this. I don't know, I just get really turned off by the sulfur smell from the egg, and I think after baking the mayo, it really comes out.
Oh, I'm so repulsed. Why would you do that? Surely there's some shampoo that you can use for dry scalps. Mayo!
The next recipe involves 2 pantry powerhouse. And did you know that Velveeta was actually from a science experiment? A Swiss cheesemaker named ML Free wanted to figure out a way to salvage broken cheese wheels, so he melted everything together, which resulted in a smooth, shelf-stable, cheese-like product that won't clump together. It's a great way to utilize defective cheese, so it's technically not cheese. It's garbage. Anyways, look how bouncy it is. It's like jello. We'll put this in a bowl and microwave it for 2 minutes to melt it completely. The only other ingredient for this, Rotel diced tomatoes, started in Texas. The legendary Rotel Velveeta dip, which we're making right now, came about in the 1940s, wasn't even from a marketing campaign. These two companies don't know each other. It just evolved from people making it a lot for potlucks, and the recipe spread it across the country. I've never had it or made it, so I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here. The cheese is called Velveeta, but it's not velvety at all. It kind of looks like scrambled eggs or shakshuka in reverse. I don't have chips in the house, so we're going straight in.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass it like Stockton.
Not as bad as I expected, a lot creamier than it looks, and the acidity from the tomatoes balance it pretty well. It tastes like the middle of a school sandwich. Right before the bullies turn me upside down and shake me till all the quarters fall out. Pretty nostalgic, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next up, Carol high fructose corn syrup. Calling this a scientific revolution would be an understatement. It was invented more than 120 years ago. It transformed the candy industry by being the only successful sweetener that helps candy not crystallize. This became a key ingredient to most food that we know, and is so cheap. This is definitely what made America great in the first place, and it invented the pecan pie and marketed it as a holiday classic. All these food companies going after our holiday seasons. That's why Rick and Morty try to destroy them. Mix the first 5 ingredients with a spoon. Why with a spoon? You know, I feel like there are so many better tools. I hate when that happens. Great. Whole cup of high fructose corn syrup. This has enough calories to sustain a village. Oh, this is gonna be pretty. Just when you think there's too much sugar, we're adding another cup of sugar to this. It's just a fructose pie. Tablespoon of butter, melted, vanilla extract. Well, I don't have pecans, but I have some walnut. A nut is a nut. Get our nut in. So we'll put this in a 350-degree oven for 60 to 70 minutes, and then we'll let it cool for 2 hours. Once the top gets a little caramelized like that, sugar syrup, butter is going to settle into each other and become like a proper pecan pie. We'll come back to it. So if you ask me what are the downsides of having an annoying roommate, is that he might come back from work and eat your entire pecan pie before you even get to film it. So we're going to start over real quick. I'm having the craziest deja vu right now. What is like the right way to get this piece out? Oh man, it's just not holding together. Like I followed everything they asked me to. Give it a taste like this. Even though it was just sugar and syrup before, after 65 minutes of relatively high heat, everything kind of evenly caramelized and all the pecans floated to the top and got toasted. A long exposure to heat turned a pretty one-dimensional mixture into a rich flavored dessert. I'll give this pecan pie an 8 out of 10. It will be higher if it's easier to get it out. Every time we use Quaker oats on this channel, I start talking about my conspiracy theory of how the ruling class wants us to eat horse food. That's why they made a product. While no credible source have provided any evidence to my claims, but I still firmly believe in it. Besides that, Quaker is actually the first food company to print recipes on the back of their boxes. So the marketing department back in 1877 made this video possible. Thanks guys. Quaker Oats as a company, at least for the first 50 years, have changed the world many times. They invented the concept of breakfast cereal, invented the cardboard cylinder package that we still use today, invented instant oatmeal, invented granola, and appeared in a Dracula movie. So yeah, a little more accomplished than FutureCanoe. Half a cup of butter, half a cup of brown sugar. Gonna cream it together. This is called the disappearing oat cookies. I guess once it's baked, it all disappears. Quarter cup of sugar. We just want to beat it till it's lightly fluffy and a little more pale. 1 egg. Vanilla, pea flour, baking soda, half a teaspoon cinnamon, and nutmeg. I wish there's some chocolate chips in it, but it's oatmeal cookie, you know. At least we're not putting raisins in it. A cup and a half of oats. With a little bit of space in between, we'll just scoop it onto the baking tray. I really need to invest in a cookie scoop. 350 for 8 minutes. Hey Siri, unfortunately I did it too big again. This cookie over here is looking pretty good. Lightly golden, the bottom is baked very evenly. Well, listen to that. Alright. I don't remember the last time I had a cookie with no chocolate chip in it, so the spices, cinnamon, nutmeg really shines through. And the cookie dough is very soft and chewy. The oatmeal in there gives that grainy texture. But you know, oatmeal cookie is just not my thing. I have to give it a 5 out of 10. I'll eat it if it's right in front of me, like right now. ORIDA actually stands for Oregon and Idaho. That makes a lot of sense. Invented the tater tots in 1953 as a way to salvage potato leftovers of cutting fries. Another popular food item that came from garbage. The tater casserole started among Midwest mothers. My annoying roommate's actually from Minnesota. Guess we're about to experience his childhood. Say what you want about Midwest cuisine, but this just looks freaking amazing. We're gonna start by browning a pound of ground beef. Stir it into a pan. Forgot to put oil in it. Place them on top. Heat is on medium-high because we want a little bit of color on the bottom. Something about ground beef, it always has that moldy smell. A lot of ground beef water coming out right now. We're gonna put it into good use cream of mushroom soup, main seasoning for the dish. Not sure how I feel about the most prominent color of a dish being gray. You know, since it doesn't hurt, I'm just gonna put a little bit of paprika in it, give it a little more redness. Now we'll put it all in a baking dish. I'm gonna make it pretty. I'm gonna like lay these on there very even, in like a circle. You know, whatever. Is it me or are these smaller than what I remember? A lot of these companies kind of like integrate their products together. It's the beauty of America American corporation. Collusion. Into a 350-degree oven, we'll bake it till the top gets golden and crispy. Don't need to time it. Once you see the top gets melted and a little brown, we'll take it out. Bubbling. Okay, so it's basically an American shepherd's pie with way less ingredients and care that goes into it. But somehow I feel like it tastes better because there's more fat in it. Pretty crispy up top. Nice, they're held together. Look-wise, I guess we already talked about it, doesn't matter. A little bit of everything. Give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. I feel like the mushroom soup, being the only seasoning for the beef, didn't really do a good job hiding that stinky ground beef flavor. I wish there's some more aromatics or herbs or something. The flavor of the beef is a little too one-dimensional. Cheddar on top of tater tot, there's nothing to complain there. I'll give this recipe a 8.5. If there's more seasoning in the beef, carrots, onion, rosemary, whatever, I'll take it to a 9.5. I think this is what's gonna help it.
So there are two players in the game, Marshmallow Fluff and the Jet Puff Marshmallow Cream. The Fluff came first, and like me, it was first hand whipped in Massachusetts. They also invented the marshmallow peanut butter sandwich. They called it the Fluffernutter. Sounds like a nickname of a plush master of a frat. Kraft came later with a business philosophy of destroying small businesses and came up with the Jet Puffed Marshmallow Cream. And today we're doing their beloved recipe that used to be printed on the back of every jar. It's called the Fantasy Fudge. I guess they're going for it's gonna be so great you're gonna have a hard time believing it's true.
Let's make fudge. Nobody has said that sentence since 1995. That's a stick and a half of butter. I've actually never had fudge. I always thought fudge is like what you put on an ice cream sundae, you know, chocolate fudge. 3 cups of sugar. 2. Alright, I'm out of sugar. 2/3 of a cup of evaporated milk. And cook the sugar and the milk into the butter for about 5 minutes on medium-high heat. Alright, so now it's been 5 minutes. You can see it's visibly darker. When sugar is caramelizing like this, it gets really hot. If you get it on you, you get scarred for life. Don't ask me how I found out. Turn off the heat to add the rest of our ingredients. I'm starting to develop a feeling that all these companies are owned by the same corporation, because they interchange products a lot. Yeah, looks good. I never had this either. Now it kind of looks like, you know, what you put on sundae. Grease it up. Walnuts from before. Just a baking dish. Put the fudge in. We'll put it in the fridge to cool till it settles. It's fudge time. Very easy to cut through. Nice. Here we go. This is a piece of fudge. Never touched one before. I don't know how to exactly describe the taste, but it tastes like a Nestle product, if you know what I mean. Very soft, chewy, the chocolate flavor is very intense. And when you first bite into it, it kind of is like a piece of bread. And then you realize, oh, it's like sauce. Chocolate and sugar and marshmallow in it. I guess it's like s'mores, but mixed up. I'll give this an 8.3. Definitely will be finishing it. Okay guys, like we talked about earlier, time to wrap a burrito in cheese. I've been eating burrito every single day lately. I'm gonna show you one of my go-to dinners. Hopefully you can get inspired, or maybe you're just nosy. We'll do very low heat to heat up the griddle first and wash the lettuce. I wouldn't be washing the lettuce if I wasn't filming, but anything for you guys, you know? Nah. Crispy water set aside. I took so long to find a good one at the grocery store. It seems like everything they have right now is like unripe. Black beans. Ugh, bro. Set it over here. So as usual, high smoke point oil all over. Get it nice and hot. I dry brine them overnight, so it should be pretty perfectly seasoned right now. I'll press it down, make sure all the surfaces are touching. That's a pretty nice crust. Put it back, and And so we'll get these two into the oven for about 3 to 4 minutes. As always, we gotta do 16 ounces of egg white, half a tablespoon of butter, I like to put hot sauce on it afterwards, so we're just gonna do a lot of pepper and no salt. I also feel like when you put salt into egg white, it kind of makes it super liquidy. Medium-low heat and let it steam and cook at the same time. So we'll let the steak rest for about 5 to 7 minutes and then we can start the burrito wrapping. While it's resting, let's just start heating up the griddle again so we can melt the cheese crisp. Yeah, all over the place. Let's get this one. Let's get this green sauce, banana peppers, some of that meat, black bean, and some lettuce. What a healthy burrito. I think we should roll it like this, stuff everything in, come in from the sides, and roll it over. Nice, let me check on it real quick. Okay, it's done. Look at that. I can't believe how great, I can't believe how great this is going. Check this out. Cheese wrapped burrito. Let's cut it open. It looks kind of gross. Whatever. No, we'll put the egg white, the burrito. So this is my typical dinner, without cheese of course. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna get to eating now. Alright.